According to Mark Brittman, the author of Rethink Your Definition of Salsa, salsa may be the Spanish word for sauce, but few sauces qualify as salsa. There are 4 different types of salsas: chopped, pulsed, cooked and pureed, and grilled. There are many different salsas you can make by interchanging a few ingredients. For example, most people use tomatoes as the main ingredient, but you can switch it up by substituting mangoes for the tomatoes for a sweeter version. First, I will discuss the basics of each category of salsa. First is pulsed. Pulsed salsas, all the ingredients are put into a food processor, and you use the pulse on it. And you want to do that until it's finely ground or chopped. Second is cooked and pureed. All of the ingredients are cooked and then pureed in a blender or food processor before eating. Third is grilled. All the fruits and vegetables are grilled before being chopped and mixed in a bowl. Lastly is chopped. It's all fresh, cold ingredients chopped and then mixed in a bowl, and you have to let that sit. My favorite type of salsa is pico de gallo. Pico de gallo is a chopped salsa with tomatoes, onions, jalapenos, cilantro, lime juice, and an assortment of spices. It is made with fresh ingredients, and this is why I enjoy the salsa so much. The most important part of making salsa is chopping your ingredients. It is the most important step, because you will be using a knife that can be dangerous. To ensure your safety, tuck your fingers so you do not cut yourself. You will always want to dice your ingredients when making pico de gallo. According to the Whole30 program, slice the vegetables into strips so you can begin chopping. Now I will show you how to make your very own pico de gallo. The recipe is adapted from Weber's Real Grilling. You're going to want 3 cups of finely diced tomatoes, 1 cup of onions, 3 jalapenos if you want to get spicy, a 1/4 cup of cilantro, 1 lime, extra virgin olive oil, and then granulated garlic, ground black pepper, oregano, and kosher salt. Now you want to gather all your items you'll need: a mixing spoon, a cutting board, a sharp knife, and a mixing bowl. First, you will cut the tomatoes like this, cut them into strips, and tuck your fingers so you don't cut them. And then you're going to want to dice them like this. And do that for the other half too. Oop. Want to be careful when cutting so you don't cut your fingers though. And then you're going to want to set that aside. Second, you're going to want to dice your onions and then set them aside. This is how I dice my onions. Cut it horizontally twice and then cut down a bunch just to get it as fine as you want it. Be careful when cutting again. You want to tuck your fingers so you don't slip the knife down and cut your fingertips off. You're going to want to set that aside too. Next, you're going to want to cut your 1/4 cup of finely chopped cilantro. You want to roll it into as tight of a ball as you can, and then just finely chop it, like so. Be careful when you get to the end so you don't cut your fingers. You're going to set that off to the side too. Alright, now you're going to want to add all these ingredients. Oop, gotta cut the jalapeno. So with jalapenos, I just cut it down the middle, down the middle again, and then down the middle again, and then just chop them. Alright, now you can add all the ingredients to your mixing bowl. Onions first, jalapenos, tomatoes, and then dump all these in too. Alright. Make sure you wipe your hands so when you're cutting after that, your hands aren't wet so you don't slip off the knife and cut your hand open. Now you're going to want to cut your lime into 2 halves, and you're going to want to squeeze the juice into the bowl, like so. Alright. Then you will measure out half a teaspoon of dried oregano and dump it in. Half a teaspoon of granulated garlic and dump it in. Another half a teaspoon, but this time of kosher salt. And then lastly for the spices, ground black pepper. Alright, now you're going to want to put in your 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Be careful not to spill. Olive oil is really annoying to clean up. Alright, now when you're done with that, you're going to want to mix it all together in the bowl. Make sure you get all the ingredients evenly distributed. There we go. Alright. As you can see, this is a simple recipe that's always a great hit at parties. It can be eaten with tortilla chips or served as a topping for tacos, chicken, and many other dishes. It's best if you let this sit in the refrigerator for a couple hours before serving, but it can be eaten right away. Yum.